All right, folks, this is Harris Sultan, and I've never been this proud of Australia. This is the proudest moment for me as an Australian. Now, this might seem a bit over the top or it might seem a bit exaggerated, but I don't know. At this point in time, it seems like Australia's proudest moment. And you might actually agree with me. You see this? So this is New South Wales Police stopping Muslims from blocking a footpath and being a nuisance for everyone. More on that, because I need to give you a bit of context. As you guys know, Muslims love to pray in public. They block streets, they block footpaths. Overall, they become a nuisance. And like everything else, they have two faces. On the one hand, they say, hey, look, what's wrong with that? We are only bowing to God. We're banging our head on the ground and sticking up our backsides in the air. What's so harmful about it? It's just a harmless exercise. But us, as ex-Muslims, we've been trying to tell the world that this is more sinister than that. This is not an event of some benign, peaceful act of worship. No, this is a display of force. That is the reason why they always do it at public landmarks, because they are making an announcement that, hey, look, the servants of Allah are right here praying in front of Buckingham Palace. The servants of Allah are here praying in front of Westminster Abbey. They do that in front of churches. They do that in front of political offices like the White House. They do that at Times Square. They do that in front of public landmarks because it's not just an act of benign, harmless worship. It's a statement, and they know it. So they tried to do that yesterday in Sydney. But this time, for some reason, New South Wales Police and the Australian government decided to show some spine. And that is the reason behind me being so proud of Australia, because usually it's the other way around. Usually they chant globalize the intifada and our politicians look the other way. Basically, these pro-terrorist simp rallies, they say you jump and our prime minister says, how high? They chant gas the Jews, and then our government makes excuses and says, well, there wasn't enough evidence to charge these people. They say Khaybar Khaybar ya Yahud, which means that, oh, Jews will do to you what Muhammad did at Khaybar. This is extremely hurtful for Jewish people because Muhammad raped and pillaged the Jewish tribe of Khaybar. Khaybar Khaybar ya Yahud! But our government, up until this point, had been completely silent and bending over backwards to appease them, just like they have done that in the UK, Germany, maybe not so much in Germany, but they've done that in France. Pretty much they do that everywhere. I don't know why. I really don't know why they get away with it. Now, let me tell you, the videos that I'm about to play to you, you're going to find them extremely amusing, as have I. Let me actually start with this. Israeli President Herzog, he was asked this question by a pro-Pally woke simp journalist. Have a listen.
President Herzog, standing here at this solemn site where 15 people were killed indiscriminately. There are protests planned today in Sydney for people who are mourning 70,000 killed in Gaza, including 20,000 children.
So President Herzog obviously went to Bondi to pay respect to the victims of the Bondi terror attack at the hands of radical Islamists. But isn't that amazing that those protesters were holding the same view as the Bondi Beach terrorists? That's why it was inappropriate for those guys to protest. And it didn't go down too well for them. But let's have a listen to this. This clip is pissing off a lot of Islamists and Hamas simps.
Can you reflect on what is the message to protesters, if you have one?
Sure. First of all, it is important for me to say that I've come here in goodwill and in a message to the people of Australia. Australia and Israel are close friends and allies since the days of old.
Yeah.
It was Australian soldiers who liberated the Holy Land as one of the greatest steps towards the creation of the homeland of the Jewish people. And it was Australia who was the first nation to declare and recognize Israel at the United Nations. And Australia is a close ally for years. And Israel was always a bipartisan issue in Australia. These demonstrations, in most cases, what you hear and see comes to undermine and delegitimize our right, my nation's right, the nation which I am the head of state of its mere existence, and is contradictory to whatever ever was said and done by Australia. And we did not seek that war. On October 7th, our nation was attacked terribly, and people were butchered, murdered, raped, and burnt and abducted. We have here bereaved Israeli families who came from the kibbutz Nir Oz, and came from the war in order to express their condolences here at Bondi, but also to make a clear statement and a message. We should all fight terror together. Terror is what undermines the whole availability of peace and the notion of peace in our region. As always, was always the case and is always the case. And therefore, terror is unacceptable by any means.
So for 2 years, our government kept appeasing these people who've been shouting genocide in Gaza before the Israeli operation even had begun. So they don't care. And I've been saying it ever since this war started, that these people don't care about the body count. They actually don't care whether 5,000, 10,000, or 100,000 Palestinians die. All they care about is how to dismantle the state of Israel. The dead bodies of Gaza, they're just a means to an end. That's it. So the guy who posted this tweet, which actually went viral, this is pathetic. A reporter asked Israel's President Isaac Herzog about the 70,000 killed in Gaza, including 20,000 children. He completely ignored it and even tried to justify it, zero remorse. Well, no, he didn't ignore it. He basically told you that we didn't start this war, but if you start a war, then we'll make sure we end it. In other words, FAFO. Don't start wars that you can't end. Now, obviously, any loss of human life is a tragedy, but what do you want Israel to do? It's the same with America. You brought down the 2 buildings. They had to do something. They had to respond. They responded, and I don't know, maybe 100,000 Afghans died. That is unfortunate. A lot of Pakistanis who look like me, they died too in American drone operations. But what do? You don't start wars. This is not about killing Gazans or Palestinians. This operation, this retaliation was about killing the ideology that killed 1,300 Israelis in a single day. That's what it was about. Now, whether Israel has succeeded in that or not, okay, I guess time will tell. But you can't guilt trip Israel for retaliating against an ideology that killed its people. You can't do that. That's just how humanity always works. As far back in history as you go, every time you poke a bear that is stronger than you, then that bear always has to retaliate. Sometimes the bear loses too, okay? That has also happened in history. But in this case, it hasn't happened. Israel won. Israel destroyed Hamas, Hezbollah, Bashar al-Assad, and very shortly, we are about to cut the head of the snake as well, which is the Islamic regime. And you, clowns, can do nothing other than crying and jumping up and down and causing disruption in our civilized countries. But guess what? It seems like that for some reason, the Australian government has had enough, okay? This is a very woke, lefty Labour government in New South Wales as well. But for some reason, it seems like it that these newly hastily enacted hate speech laws maybe are in favor of the Jews. And maybe Muslims are right that these laws will be used against them. I've been thinking that maybe I might become a victim of this law, and maybe I shouldn't be celebrating too soon. But as it turns out, the New South Wales government is not having a bar of it. And these Islamist terror simps are in an absolute meltdown. Have a look at this. I'm sorry about I apologize about that. Oh, look at this. Now, this guy's a woke. Okay. You see some woke, these idiot wokes who are there to cause disruption. And New South Wales Police is doing its job. This is maintaining law and order. This is crowd control. So they're doing that. Look at this. They're pointing out this copper. They're saying, hey, we're going to make him famous. And by the way, they're plastering their photos everywhere. Yeah, these guys. I say these guys are heroes. Okay, look at their faces. These guys are absolute heroes. You have my respect, officer. And they're plastering their photos like everywhere else. They found a way to target people, harass people for simply doing their jobs. But we have to retaliate in kind, and we have to make a hero out of these people. These guys are heroes. Look at this, more videos. This is not a police. Hand off her! Hand off her! Shut up! Go home! See, this guy is a senior police officer, so he gets attacked. Look at it. And then boom! Well done. Arrest Herzog. Nope. Nope. Not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. See what I mean by I'm so proud to be Australian today? This is it. Well done, Australia. I've never been so proud. Australia's done some amazing things in its history, but this is a very unique moment for me. Okay, I'm not done yet. Okay, I'm not done yet. So this is the best part. So they try to do what they do best. Block public squares and footpaths and streets and show their force. This is a religious statement. This is a statement of, we are here. The servants of Allah are here in the heart of the kuffar. This is it. I'm telling you, this is not benign, harmless act of prayer. It's not. This is a political statement. This is a statement that we are here. Try and stop us. There's no other reason. But as it turns out, New South Wales Police decided that we're not going to have any of that BS. I'm going to try not to speak. Just listen to these woke clowns. Mostly they are white, purple-haired woke clowns, these white people who don't know anything about Islam. They hate religion. Most of them are actually atheists. Most of them are actually anti-theist. But they only hate Christianity and Judaism for some reason. And they say, oh, let them pray. Islam, the most homophobic, the most misogynistic, the most violent of all of these religions, because these guys are incoherent. They're not logically sound. These guys are fools. But the good thing is, New South Wales Police made us proud. Watch. Get out of there.
Guys, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing?
Kick him out. Kick him out. Look at this. Look at this hero. Look at this hero. Boom, get out of my way, bitch. Do you hear that? They're praying. They're praying. Since when did you start caring about prayers, you dumbass?
What are you doing? Oh my God!
Oh.
What are you doing?
Pick him up. Get him off.
Stop! Stop!
Get out of there. Why do they turn everything about religion? If this is about indigenous people fighting for freedom for their indigenous land, then why do they turn everything about their religion? I'll tell you why. Because it's got nothing to do with Arab indigenous people living in that block of land and they're fighting for freedom. No. It's a holy war. It's their religious war. It's a part of their eschatology. Muslims have to own that piece of land. Muslims have to subjugate the Jews. And they have to establish the caliphate there, and Jews have to live there as dhimmis, as third-class citizens, according to Sharia. That's it. That's all it's all about. And these idiots, these woke lunatics, these white pro-Pali terror simps, they become instruments to implementing Sharia. Make that make sense. How stupid are these people? They're actively taking part in the religious war of Muslims. Get them out. I don't care. Get them out. Oh, man. That better. F off. Get out of here. Go somewhere else. Look at this woman. She's living. Look at this. Look at this one. What do you care, you stupid? See, they're smiling. They're smiling. Look at this. They're smiling. They're like, yep, we got it. Because you know what their goal is? Their goal is to agitate, provoke the Australian government. And I think the Australian government knows about this too. But we say that put your foot down, put the hammer down. That's it. Enough is enough. And we don't care. We have already seen there's so many infiltrators. There are people from the Islamic regime. The people who are loyal to the Islamic regime have claimed asylum in Australia. There's so many pro-Pali people. There's so many pro-Hamas people, pro-Hezbollah people who've been in Australia and organizing these rallies. So these are not organic rallies, okay? These are pre-planned. And that's how the Muslim Brotherhood spread its tentacles everywhere. By the way, this is from Hizb ut-Tahrir, which was recently listed as a terrorist organization in the UK, but it's been a terror organization for many other countries for many, many years. And Australia still hasn't listed it as a terrorist organization. Maybe that's the next step. Maybe actually that might happen in a few days. This is what they wanted. Get out! Look how they pose this. Australian police attack and arrest Muslim men praying outdoors. This is hard to watch. God bless those that stood between the people praying and police. No, F off. This shit is not going to fly anymore. This reminds me of a similar incident in India, because poor India has been dealing with this crap for a very long time. Look at this. They did that in India too. They do that everywhere. As I said, it's a show of force and dominance. They're rubbing your nose. Hey, we're here. Stop us if you can. They get a kick out of that. In their minds, they think that we are pleasing our Allah, that, hey, look, Allah, in this cruel and harsh world, the whole world is kicking us down, but we are remaining steadfast in our worship of you. Oh, Allah, reward us. Look at the hardship that we're going through. That's the mentality. They're actually simping for their Allah, and at the same time, they're delivering a political message. It's a mental ideology, I'm telling you. But just like those hero New South Wales police officers, you're going to see a hero Indian police officer. This video came out a couple of years ago. I celebrated it because at that point, I was like, you know what? Screw this woke nonsense. We've got to take a position. So I, for the first time, actually supported this, and I got attacked by a lot of woke ex-Muslims as well. Have a look at this. Get up! Get up! What happened to your steadfastness now? You just get one kick and you're like, oh, okay, let me run. Get up! Bugger off! Get up!
भाई सजदे में थे देख सकते हो भाई लोग सजदे में थे भाई लोग जितने भी है नियत.
See now, Muslims surrounding him, now they're pressuring him. It's like, hey, what are you doing? You can't stop us. You can't stop us from blocking the road. And he's like, whoa, no, get off.
रखे थे इसने लात मारा है पुलिस वाले ने लात मार रहा है और मुसलमानों को मार रहा है ये इंदर लोग की वीडियो है.
He says straight away, he's saying that, hey, look, that's what they do to Muslims. Look, they started beating him up. I think they sacked that poor police officer, to the best of my knowledge. But look at this. That's not it. Have a look at this. Look how New South Wales police charge at them. Charge! Oh, they start running. I've got a better angle. Look at this. Charge! Watch them run. Watch them run. Run, run! Where's your steadfastness now, huh? That's what they need, I'm telling you. We need to use force to squash these protests. These are not protests. These are shows of allegiance to terror organizations like Hamas, Hezbollah, and Islamism. We can't allow this. There can be no place for this behavior. And they should all get out of the stolen land. That's true. That's true. Get out. Look at the propaganda. Watch this. So they say during a protest at Sydney Town Hall Square against the visit of Israeli President Isaac Herzog, Australian police officers tackled a pro-Palestinian terror simp to the ground and repeatedly punched him. Watch this. What they didn't show you, look, he tried to bite him. Look at this. He tried to bite him. Look, he's biting him right there. He's actually biting him like a feral dog he is. And look, he's resisting arrest. He's not giving his other arm. Well done. Sorry, no crowd control. This is people like, what was that guy's name? Alex Pretty or something, whatever his name was. They're agitators. They go out there to cause trouble. But when trouble comes to them, they can't handle it. They start crying. So this is the propaganda that they were looking for. Where was you, Allah? Why didn't he protect him? So the Australian National Imams Council has written, and look what they're saying. The recent footage of Muslims praying in the city during the protest against the appalling visit of the Israeli president. Why were you praying if you were there to protest? Just like we are not allowed to hold atheist conferences in Muslim countries, you can't preach Christianity or Judaism to Muslims in Muslim countries, even the somewhat democratic ones like Malaysia or Pakistan. You can't preach Christianity. But we give them visas to come to our countries, and you can go and preach whoever you want. And in the process, we're losing a lot of gingers to Islam, okay? Fine, we have freedom of religion here. But it seems like an awfully constructed one-way road only. So we know your purpose. This religious war, you're not fooling anyone. And I'm so glad that something that we've been saying for many years is now starting to filter down to our organizations. Again, this is a small win. I don't know if it's a win or not, but this is a good win for us. We got to take it, okay? Being heavy-handedly pushed and forcibly moved by police while in prayer is shocking, deeply disturbing, and entirely unacceptable. No, it's not. Well done, New South Wales Police. Well done. So I responded to it. My tweet became a top tweet. Why do you pricks shove your religion into everything? Why do you even have to pray in the middle of walkways? New South Wales Police did an amazing job, and I hope it sets a precedent for police forces all over the world to follow. I don't think the Met Police is ever going to show that kind of spine, but we all want to see it, right? We want to see American police do the same, but I doubt it's going to happen. But well done. We are happy. I am so happy. This is brilliant. Get up. F off. And this woke mind virus is spreading like wildfire. Have a look at this idiot. This is a far left Aussie activist, Rohan Irvin. Anti-genocide, anti-ethnic cleansing, anti-apartheid. So as you can see, he's got a Palestinian flag in his bio, and it's all about the Israel-Palestinian conflict. So clearly he's unhinged. He's got no idea about anything. Look at him. This is what he posted. Every one of the cops who assaulted Muslims in the middle of prayer should be executed. Sydney is controlled by Zionists. Look at this idiot. So I think the Australian Federal Police should arrest him. He's a domestic terrorist. He's a danger. He's a ticking time bomb. This guy can explode at any moment. So these are the kind of people that are coming out of this pro-Pally mob. And Australia has had enough. Every country has had enough. Most of these people are suffering. They are suffering from mental illnesses, mostly the white ones. The Muslim ones are fair enough. They are loyal to their Muslim brothers, and they are fulfilling their religious duties. So it makes sense for them. They come from a different culture, different civilization, different set of values. They have different ambitions. But these homegrown woke idiots, they're suffering from mental illnesses. So well done to New South Wales Police. You have my full support. And you guys need to jump on X so you can also show your support to them. So was I right about being proud of Australia? I think I was. I'm going to remember this moment for a fair bit of time. How do you feel about this? Let me know in the comments below.